My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
Now, Trump has partially kept his promise by getting Israel and Hamas to agree to a ceasefire. Now he has set his sights on resolving the 3-year-old Ukraine-Russia conflict.
Efforts to secure a peace settlement between Russia and Ukraine are now hopefully underway. It's so important to get that done. That is an absolute killing field. It's time to end it.
If the Gaza ceasefire holds and all the hostages are freed and Trump comes good on his promise of ending the Ukraine war, will it make him worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize? From the Washington Post, CBS News and Tablet in the US, to the Times of Israel, the Times of India and Sweden's Svenska Dagbladet, everyone's asking the same question. Will Trump win the Nobel Peace Prize? CBS News reported that Trump spoke about how he deserves a Nobel when he hosted the late Japanese Prime Minister Abe Shinzo's wife in December, soon after his election win. Trump recalled how Abe had nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2018 for holding peace talks with North Korea. The report quoted a Trump aide as saying that the Nobel has been a quote-unquote hyper-fixation for Trump. The Tablet magazine, in turn, published a report headlined, "Is Trump's Nobel Prize waiting in Kyiv?" It read, "It is tempting to view Trump's efforts as nothing more than a vanity project, but it may also be that they offer the best or only hope of silencing the guns and preventing even worse outcomes. If that happens, he may well deserve a Nobel Prize." Alexander Mereshko, a Ukrainian lawmaker belonging to President Volodymyr Zelensky's party, nominated Trump for the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize in November, soon after Trump won. Mereshko, who chairs the Ukrainian Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, wrote in his letter to the Norwegian Nobel Committee that Trump could help Ukraine achieve just, comprehensive and sustainable peace based on the UN Charter and principles of international law. Even President Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus has said that he would support Trump's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize if he can end world conflicts, as he has repeatedly promised in his speeches. Trump supporters believe that Trump has a good chance of winning the Nobel Peace Prize if, and it's a big if, the Israel-Hamas ceasefire holds, and if he succeeds in either resolving the Ukraine-Russia conflict or the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict, or even getting Saudi Arabia and Israel to normalize their relations.
They're people, they're human beings. And I said, tell them we're going to do it, but you have to make peace. And we got them together, we made peace. And they actually nominated me for Nobel Peace Prize.
Now, Trump was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize on 4 occasions in the past, in 2018, 2020, 2021 and 2024. In 2018, he was nominated 3 times for holding peace talks with North Korea by Christian Tybring-Gjedde, a lawmaker from Norway, the then Japanese Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, and 18 Republican lawmakers and governors from the US. In 2020, Christian Tybring-Gjedde again nominated Trump, but this time for his role in the signing of the Abraham Accords. A group of Australian law professors nominated him for the same, while a lawmaker from Sweden, Magnus Jacobson, nominated Trump that year for hosting the Serbia-Kosovo talks. In 2021, Finland's Laura Huhtasaari, a member of the far-right Finns party, nominated Trump. And in 2024, U.S. lawmaker Claudia Tenney nominated Trump for, again, the Abraham Accords.
They said it couldn't be done, but President Trump did it. The first Middle East peace agreement in decades. President Trump brought once bitter enemies, Israel, Bahrain, and the UAE, together to make peace.
I am grateful to you, President Trump, for your decisive leadership.
President Trump, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Leadership that makes the world safer.
Clearly, Trump supporters believe he richly deserves a Nobel, and the chorus is only growing louder by the day. But some disagree. In the past, several Nobel Committee members have made negative remarks about Trump. There always were murmurs of discontent, partly because of Trump's personality, his worldview, and the baggage that comes with it. Trump himself acknowledged the problem on a number of occasions. Trump has complained that he is not being considered more seriously for a Nobel, expressing bitterness that a former US President Barack Obama was awarded the prestigious honor in 2009.
If I were named Obama, I would have had the Nobel Prize given in 10 seconds. He got the Nobel Prize. He didn't even know what the hell he got it for. Remember, he got elected. Well, so did I. He got elected, and they announced he was getting the Nobel Prize. Remember, he said, "Oh, what did I do?" He didn't know what the hell he did. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing.
You know, Obama came into office, they gave him the Nobel Prize like almost immediately, right? In fact, he didn't even know why he got it. He didn't even know, he had no idea why he got it, and he was right about that, because nobody else does either. They still don't know.
You see, Trump was not entirely wrong. In 2015, Geir Lundestad, the director of the Norwegian Nobel Institute, wrote in his memoir titled Secretary of Peace that he regretted giving the prize to Obama. He says awarding the Nobel Peace Prize to Obama in 2009 failed to achieve what the committee hoped it would. In fact, Lundestad has often been quoted as saying, "The Nobel is not a prize for saints." So the process and methodology of awarding the Nobel Peace Prize is not perfect. For instance, many in India fail to understand how and why the Nobel Peace Prize eluded Mahatma Gandhi. In more recent times, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken about how the 2015 land boundary agreement signed by India and Bangladesh was deserving of the Nobel Peace Prize.
यही घटना दुनिया के किसी पूरे भूभाग में होता तो विश्व में बड़ी चर्चा हो जाती, पता नहीं नोबेल प्राइज देने के लिए रास्ते खोले जाते.
Christian Tybring-Gede, who nominated Trump twice in 2018 and 2020, concedes that there is little doubt that Trump often comes across as boorish and arrogant, but he says that whether or not you like Trump's personality is not important in this context. Donald Trump is a worthy recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, he says. And Aaron David Miller, a former U.S. diplomat and negotiator in several Democratic and Republican administrations, couldn't agree more. Miller says the aversion to giving him the Nobel on the Democratic side is caught up in the aversion to him.
Make a peace. You have to make peace. We made peace. Make a peace.
As for Trump himself, he insists that it's not personality that should decide whether someone wins the prize, but what the person has really accomplished to make peace in the world. He famously said, "I would get a Nobel Prize for a lot of things if they give it out fairly," which they don't. In the past, several people, including former South Korean President Moon Jae-in and the late US President Jimmy Carter, have suggested that Trump could deserve a Nobel. I leave you with what Trump said in his inaugural address, for which he received a standing ovation.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Will Trump live up to his promise? If he does, will he then get a Nobel? And if he does not, Will it only confirm the suspicion that there is an inherent bias in the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize?